92.54, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture,
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
drama.
we bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
to keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine. Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation. We will be focusing on women. We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision.
You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood on KBC TV for Dada's show.
Hi, my name is Naila and I'm 9 years old. I am in grade 3. I like skating because it builds up my creativity.
I love it because it has a superhero. Do you know any superheroes?
Please play, pray, and practice properly. Please pray, and practice properly.
Today I'm going to show you how to make churros. Churros are a dessert that originated from Spain, and I'm going to show you how to simply make them.
Hiari kutenda wema, uwe mtu wa juhudi, maishani hutakwama, nitaja kuwa shahidi.
When I look around, oh, everything I see just they make me believe it.
Good evening and welcome to Easy Friday. My name is Caren Kibbett. As the week winds down across the world, we bring you the latest stories shaping our bulletin tonight, among them of a disease with near 100% fatality rate, yet can be cured with one injection.
Absolutely. Some of the other stories we're covering for you tonight. A lot of politics. The National Delegates Conference for the Jubilee Party held today, ratifying changes to their constitution. Could this be paving way for Matiang'i to to become the Jubilee Party leader. And the November by-elections draw ever closer. UDA and ODM will be conducting joint parliamentary campaigns. You have business and sports as well. But first things first, Caren, you have
Here are the highlights.
Absolutely.
Broad-based campaign strategy. UDA and ODM to conduct joint parliamentary campaigns ahead of November by-elections. Paving the way for Matiang'i, Jubilee Party National Delegates Conference resolved to amend party constitution with former party leader Uhuru Kenyatta expected to step down. Kenyan flag desecration. 2 Somali teenagers to remain at Gigiri Child Protection Unit, awaiting court ruling on October 2nd. And 2 brothers' resilience inspire fellow youth to fall back on creativity to eke a living in the face of rising unemployment. This is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Carol Njoroge. Now, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta has warned that the gains made under his administration are at a risk of being reversed by the Kenya Kwanza government. In a veiled reference to public concerns over the effectiveness of the Social Health Authority, Kenyatta cautioned against experimenting with government programs at the expense of public welfare.
Well, he was speaking at the Jubilee Party National Delegates Conference, which resolved to amend the constitution, a move widely interpreted as paving the way for former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i to succeed Kenyatta as the party leader. That story begins our coverage on Easy Friday tonight.
On Friday morning, the highly anticipated Special National Delegates Conference of the Jubilee Party commenced. The convention followed a court victory by the Kenyatta-led faction, which successfully reclaimed control of the party from a group of rebels Kenyatta described as proxies.
So it is my hope that from today we shall see the end of machinations and the start of a democratic process, because it is the people who will decide. Sio watu wachache kujifungia pahali.
Tukaona wengine wamehama na viti, wengine wamehama na kompyuta. Safari chungu. We have no time to tell the story. We will write a book. I can promise I'll write a book. But it was the most painful thing, a high point of where you never want to go back.
In his address, Kenyatta outlined the achievements of the fourth administration under Jubilee, but expressed concern that those milestones were being steadily undermined by the current regime's policies.
In the last general election, I endeavored to pass this message. Unfortunately, it fell on deaf ears and was lost in the noise of insults, character assassinations, myths and stories of dynasties and hustlers, and so on. And while we wait for these experiments to work, Kenyans suffer and our progress is retarded.
The party resolved to amend its constitution, removing the clause that automatically recognized the sitting president as party leader, signaling Kenyatta's intention to hand over leadership to Fred Matiang'i.
As many of that opinion say, aye, tuone kwa mkono.
Kenyatta also announced a nationwide membership recruitment drive with a focus on engaging young people in the party's leadership and national affairs.
Na mimi nitajitolea sasa kwa sababu tumesema tunataka kuanzisha recruitment drive, kuanza kuzunguka mashinani kile area, tupatane na nyinyi, tuongee pamoja na nyinyi.
Amid growing unease within the united opposition over Jubilee's resurgence and Matiang'i's rising profile, Kenyatta responded to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's DCP party, stating that Jubilee was not interested in regional politics.
That in politics, you can never be led by bitterness, anger, or hate. That only deviates you from your mission and vision. Wale wanataka kuendelea na matusi, hiyo ni shauri yao. Mambo hii ya kusema ati chama hii ni ya upande hii, chama ni ya upande hii, chama ni ya upande hii. La, wacha tuwe na national parties.
The newly adopted party structure will facilitate the formation of a central management committee tasked with charting Matiang'i's path to coronation as the next Jubilee Party leader. John Jacob Curia, Easy Friday.
All right, now the United Democratic Alliance, as the UDA, and the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, have reached a zoning agreement ahead of the upcoming by-elections, marking a significant step in strengthening their political alliance.
Now, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki announced that the two parties will conduct joint campaigns in support of broad-based government candidates for the 7 parliamentary by-elections scheduled for November 27th.
Well, he made the remarks during the presentation of nomination certificates to 3 UDA parliamentary aspirants and 17 ward candidates.
Under the new arrangement between the Wilbaro and Orange parties, UDA will field candidates in Mbeere North, Banissa and Malava constituencies, as well as the Baringo Senate seat. ODM will sponsor candidates in Kasipul, Ugunja and Magarini constituencies. Both parties, along with their government partners, have committed to a unified campaign strategy.
And because we are now expanded and we have been cooperating with other parties under the broad-based administration, we have made concessions.
That is in the spirit of ensuring that we do not, muddy ourselves into an endless fight as coalition or broad-based partners.
However, Professor Kindiki cautioned campaign teams against overshadowing their candidates, emphasizing that the focus must remain on the aspirants themselves.
Please don't be proud, as it has been said. Don't think you're there. It is not over until it is over. And today people hate hubris. People hate thorax. People want to be persuaded. Tell them why UDA is the best party and why you plead with them to support you as the candidate and also to support our party.
We are the ruling party. But that's not to mean that we look for votes with kiburi and arrogance na matusi. That is not our brand of politics.
He stated that the joint campaign will be anchored on the theme of transformation, highlighting what he described as President William Ruto's achievements over the past 3 years.
It is therefore important for the country to know that this administration will go down in history as the administration that faced head-on the challenge of inequities and inequalities around the provision of health care.
In addition, UDA will independently sponsor candidates in all 17 pending ward by-elections. All nominated candidates received their certificates during Friday's presentation ceremony.
We have people on the ground. We have already been there the last 2 weeks ago. We've been assured that our seat is safe. We have like 90% of the people of Banissa are for this cause. They are for UDA.
John Jacob Curia, Easy Friday.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki says the government is currently paying the social health insurance for 2.2 million vulnerable Kenyans, a move aimed at ensuring accessibility of quality health care for all.
Well, Kindiki is urging Kenyans to continue registering with the Social Health Authority, SHA, saying the government targets to register 55 million Kenyans under the authority by 2027.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is calling for Luhya unity and mass registration of voters in Western Region ahead of the 2027 general elections.
The Kenya Kwanza Brigade, led by the Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, took the government empowerment program to Taita Taveta and Kakamega counties respectively. Professor Kindiki hit out at the government critics, accusing them of hypocrisy.
Mumesikia ile mambo tunapanga kufanya na ile inafanywa. Wao watasema wamefanya nini? Si wamekuwa mawaziri? Wengine walikuwa makamu wa rais? Si walikuwa watu wako na vyeo kama mimi? Walikuwa na vyeo kama sisi? Kuna kitu walileta hapa Taita Taveta? Si ni fitina peke yake? na mambo ya kasheshe na mambo ya ukabila na mambo ya kuambia Wakenya ati kama hukupiga kura ati huwezi pata maendeleo. Je, huo ni ungwana?
The deputy president said 2.2 million Kenyans are now receiving healthcare services free of charge under the Social Health Authority, urging Kenyans to continue registering themselves.
Sasa Wakenya milioni 26.5 wamejiandikisha. Tunataka ifike milioni 30 ifikapo Disemba mwaka huu. Milioni 45 ifikapo Disemba 2026 na milioni 55 ifikapo December 2027.
He added that the country's economy has grown tremendously under the Kenya Kwanza government, citing the value gained by the Kenyan shilling against the dollar. Moses Wetangula rallied Western Region to speak in one voice and register as voters ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Sisi tuendelee kutafuta marafiki, kwa sababu hata tukiwa wengi peke yetu hatuwezi. Katiba inasema lazima tukuwe na kaunti 24. Sisi jamii yetu tuko na kaunti 5.
Hii Western yetu tunataka tutembee nyumba moja, tutembee barabara moja.
He further lauded the government empowerment program, saying it is key in boosting especially rural women groups in economic development.
Nyinyi mama zetu, kama una stock ya shilingi 2,000 hapa Rwandeti, unakimbiza magari kuuza nyanya. Ukimaliza hiyo ukiongezwa 5,000, stoko yako inaenda wapi? Juu.
Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
All right, now 8,000 Kenyans who have so far benefited from the United States government's exchange program are being called to take up the responsibility of rebuilding their societies.
Speaking at the Kenya-US Alumni Fair in Nairobi, U.S. Acting Ambassador to Kenya Susan Barnes urged the alumni to transform skills gained abroad into solutions that improve healthcare, strengthen the economy, and uplift their communities.
As part of celebrations to mark over 60 years of collaboration between Kenya and the United States through U.S. government exchange programs, 500 alumni gathered in Nairobi to reflect on their journeys and the life-changing opportunities made possible by U.S. government exchange programs. Speaking during the event, the president of the Alumni Association, Benson Abila, challenged his peers to put their knowledge into practical actions to speed up the transformation of the country.
The U.S. has already done its part. You took us to the States. You took us to learn, to get the professional expertise, to get the cultural exchange, and now it's our role to come back to build our own communities, right? And the legacy of today is to remind all alumni that we are forced to reckon with.
Sentiments echoed by engineer Nora Magero, a tech woman fellow who initiated a company producing solar-powered portable refrigerators to store sensitive medical supplies in rural and underserved areas.
We've been able to store, issue, transport, and deliver over 1 million vaccines and medical products to rural communities in Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, and Cote d'Ivoire. So we've been able to create so many jobs for young people, for women, for people of color, for people with various disabilities, and we've generated so much revenue.
While lauding the impact of the exchange program, acting U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Susan Barnes, emphasized Kenya's leadership in renewable energy, smart agriculture, diplomacy, and technology, calling on the alumni to continue bridging communities and shaping policy.
Those experiences have been planted here in Kenya in your civil spaces, your tech industries, your farms, and your universities. And you didn't just bring home knowledge and experience, you're remixing it, you're scaling it. I mean, already heard some of those examples, creating jobs and transforming institutions. As alumni is so critical. You're the thought leaders and the bridge builders, the interlocutors who make sure that our ties aren't just government to government, but people to people.
Joseph Wahungu for Easy Friday.
Now, education stakeholders are now calling for urgent and concerted efforts to facilitate the seamless adoption of technology in the country's education system.
Well, led by EdTech East Africa CEO Jennifer Otieno, the players have termed the insufficient infrastructural capacity, especially in the undeserved areas, as a key impediment in the implementation of EdTech programs.
The stakeholders who spoke during the 4th edition of the National EdTech Summit in Nairobi at the same time called for the establishment of a legal and policy framework to guide the use of digital tools, especially among the underage users.
As Kenya positions itself as Africa's technology hub, the country is now turning to education technology to prepare learners for the fast-changing digital world. It is for this reason that teachers, policymakers, innovators, researchers, and development partners converged at the semester in Nairobi to discuss how digital tools can improve learning outcomes and bridge education gaps.
You know, whether we like it or not, we are living in the era of AI. And one of the things that have been identified is if you are not building the workforce ready for the future of AI, then you will continue churning out redundant graduates.
Here, EdTech East Africa's CEO, Jennifer Otieno, emphasized on the need to leverage on technology to enhance learning experience.
We want to work together to figure out how can technology be deployed equitably across the country to solve the persistent challenges that we have, but also to solve for the unique challenges that exist in different parts of the country.
However, the inadequate infrastructural capacity, especially in the underserved areas, was cited as a major challenge.
I think digital infrastructure continues to be a bit of a challenge, and I don't think that's news to anyone. While we know most schools have access to power, sometimes the power can be unreliable. We know connectivity is still a stretch for many of the schools.
How can we think about even rotating some of the tech devices in areas that are remote?
Lack of sufficient legal and policy framework on the use of various digital tools such as the artificial intelligence was also seen as one that can pose ethical challenges, and especially by the underage users.
You need to put safeguards in place to make sure teachers and learners are protected when they're using AI. So that's where the policy frameworks come in.
Making children also understand how to use AI ethically is very, very critical, over and above the policies, to ensure that, you know, this is being used in the right way, this is being used in a productive way.
To address this, among other obstacles, the stakeholders called for concerted efforts among all the relevant players to ensure that tech literacy is not a privilege for a few, but a right for every child in the country.
The education problems are complex. There's no single actor who can solve those problems alone. And it's only through collaboration that we're really going to overcome some of the challenges that we've been facing.
They, at the same time, reiterated the need for intentional communication between the employers and the higher learning institutions to help in equipping learners with the emerging and up-to-date technologies relevant to the industry's demands.
The kind of need now is to get on the same table. Let's approach it from the same side and not on different divides, so that we're able to say what is it that, let's say, as employers in the technology space, as employers in the automotive space, employers in the factory floors, what is it that they need? Then they talk to those who are training, so that then we are working from the same side, that we are preparing people for, you know, what you would call education and training for the real world of work.
John Kahiro for Easy Friday.
Right now, a family in Shinoi Village, Navaholo constituency, Kakamega County, is calling for the government's intervention over a standoff between them and the police. The family alleges the police have denied them a burial permit, which is required for them to bury their 17-year-old son.
The student, identified as Olive Makoha, was reportedly murdered while on his way to a disco matanga. The family is now accusing the local authorities of frustrating their efforts to lay their son to rest and is calling for justice and intervention from relevant government agencies.
Pain and sorrow has engulfed a family in Shinoi Village, Navaholo constituency in Kakamega County after the brutal killing of their 17-year-old son, while at the same time being denied the right to bury him. According to his father, Patrick Wanjala, Oliver Makoha, a student at Malaha Technical College, was brutally attacked and allegedly killed by a person identified as Moses Were and two accomplices. The family alleges that their son was murdered under unclear circumstances while on his way to a disco matanga.
Huyo muuaji mwenye aliua mtoto wa ndugu yangu ako na ripoti ilipatikana ako kwa soko, anajitangaza huko atameua kaidi. Sasa ndo tunashangaa gaidi mtoto wa miaka karibu 17, 18 inaweza kuwa gaidi. Watoto walikuwa wanaenda disco matanga.
Na huyu mtu ambaye mwenye aliwa mtoto anajitaya kwamba alikuwa analala kwa nyumba akapikiwa simu na Chief Kotek ambaye mwenye alimwambia kwamba kuja kuna makaiti yanatembea kwa barabara. Ndipo alitoka kwa nyumba akaenda pale akakaa kwa gari. Wakaenda mpaka kwa pale penye watoto walikuwa. Wakasingiria watoto na watoto wakashika mtoto wetu mmoja nayo ndio wenye waliua.
But days after the killing, the grieving family says their pain has been compounded by frustrations by officers from the Department of Criminal Investigations at Navaholo Station, accusing them of refusing to issue them the burial permit required to lay their son to rest.
Ilikuwa natakana jana niende nifanye postmortem. Ilikuwa natakana nifanye Monday. Nikaenda Navaholo. Wakaniambia sasa saa hii tuwezi enda kufanya hiyo kazi. Yenda tulia, tutakupigia simu. Kesho yake nikaenda. Nikamwambia bana, niko na kazi nafanya mahali, nataka usaidizi. Watu wenye nafanya nao kazi wanisaidie hii mchango ya matanga. Paka sina mbele.
The family is now appealing to relevant authorities to intervene, insisting that justice be served and that they be allowed to bury their son without further delay. The incident has raised fresh concerns about security and accountability of law enforcers, with the family calling for urgent action to ensure such cases do not recur.
Right, may the family get justice. We're about to take a quick breather. Reporter Letua Deborah rounds up news from the corridors of justice. We have business and sports a bit later. We're back in a moment.
Jeshi la Ulinzi la Kenya KDF linawatangazia zoezi la usajili wa Kenya ambao wangependa kujiunga nao kama wanajeshi. Zoezi hili litafanyika mwezi Oktoba mwaka huu. Usajili ambao utafanyika ni wa General Service Officers GSO, Cadets Regular and Graduates, Specialist Officers, General Duty Recruits, Tradesmen and Women and Defense Forces Constables. Je, una ndoto za kutumikia taifa la Kenya kama mwanajeshi? Kwa maelezo zaidi tegea KBC Radio Taifa tarehe 4 mwezi Oktoba, punde tu baada ya taarifa ya habari ya saa 1 usiku. Kadhalika, kwa maelezo zaidi ya wale ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya, tembelea tovuti ya www.mod.go.ke. Kumbuka, tendo la hongo na ufisadi wa aina yoyote ni kinyume cha sheria na hakuna anayeweza kushawishi usajili wako, kwani zoezi hili ni bila malipo kwa wote ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya. Ukikubali kuadaiwa, utapoteza pesa na mali yako na kuishia korokoroni.
Using persons with disabilities to get funds for personal use is inappropriate.
To ensure that we are included, not just at the table, not just being given a seat at the table, but also being given the power to lead.
Where people are meeting to make decisions, women with disabilities' voices must be there, must be heard, especially around violence and political participation.
Mi kukua caregiver na niko na mtoto mlemavu ni kujituma tu.
Tuko mbioni, tunajaribu sana kuhakikisha na kuonyesha wenzetu ya kwamba ulemavu si hukumu.
If you are running a church, don't even think of setting up a school, because as early as 2030, 2032, the most lucrative business, quote and unquote, will be mental health wellness centers.
What I'm seeing in the Bible is, tell the righteous, it shall be well with them. In that moment, it's dark, it's tough, but it shall be well.
Wow.
Grief is the most
mishandled
in church.
And that's why some people, after grief, some people never come back to church.
Some are just afraid to talk to the spiritual leaders in church because of shame.
Some of those engineered, very famous statements have no biblical backing.
It's true.
Welcome back. For those joining us right now, this is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter on your screen is Carol Njoroge. Now, the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company engineer Nahashon Muguna has tendered his resignation. His decision to exit the company was communicated through a letter to the company's board, sparking mixed reactions from workers' unions.
Well, some have welcomed his move. Others are now calling for the resignation of the entire board. Details of this and much more stories in our county news roundup.
The sudden exit of engineer Nahashon Muguna at the helm of the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company has sparked mixed reactions. In a letter dated September 26 and addressed to the board chairman Arnold Karanja, engineer Nahashon Muguna said his decision was reached after careful consideration, adding that he was stepping down to pursue other endeavors. Workers' unions have alleged the board is being compromised, saying this has crippled service delivery and left staff demoralized.
We have seen frustration of Engineer Muguna, being frustrated left, right and center. He has never had peace in this organization. I'm a frustrated one despite the skills and the professionalism that he has tried his level best to maintain. Leo asubuhi tumesikia kwamba resign because of the frustrations from City Hall. Yes. We are not happy as workers because now what is the future for this organization? What is the future of the workers? If this is what we are seeing, a board using a registered outfit to come and further their interest here, what else can we see in this organization? Corruption is there.
As workers, we would like to put our concerns that because for themselves, they are not recognizing the voice of the workers. We have a union here that represents the workers. Water Service Workers Union is a union that has been registered formally. It has signed a recognition with the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company, and we demand smooth transition from this board.
The resignation has further divided workers, with the union backing Muguna's move, while another has taken to the streets demanding accountability from the board. Pressure is now mounting on Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja to intervene, with calls for a thorough audit of the company's leadership.
We respectively talk to our governor, Hadha Sakaja, that he must take charge and hover a transition that will not affect the supply of water within the city.
Elsewhere, police in Kitengela, Kajiado County have arrested 10 people accused of running an illegal liquor business during the day. Authorities say the operation follows complaints from residents over mushrooming alcohol outlets, which they claim are endangering public safety and exposing youth to drugs and harmful substances.
Tumeshika culprits 11 na baadhi ya zile vitu ambavyo tumekamata katika operesheni yetu, tumepata chang'aa, tumepata busa, tumeshika bangi, tumeshika second generation alcohol which is not supposed to be on the market, na zote tumezishika, tumezibook kwa police station. Ndio sasa hao wahalifu wamekamatwa waweze kufikishwa kotini haraka iwezekanavyo.
And Kenya is shifting gears towards green transport. A virtual launch has set the stage for the Africa EV Mobility Expo, coming to Nairobi this December. The online event brought together government officials, industry leaders and investors to discuss policy, infrastructure and financing of electric vehicles. Speakers including engineer Michael Mosheri and KenInvest CEO John Mwendwa and Caroline Mutiso of GIZ stressed the need to fast-track EV adoption. Finally, tension has gripped Limuru on Friday after demonstrations by Ndeia residents outside the Kiambu County offices turned chaotic. The residents accused county enforcement officers of harassment, citing arbitrary arrests and confiscation of goods. Police were forced to intervene to disperse the angry crowd, as local leaders warned that continued disputes between residents and county officials risk escalating further and threatening business confidence in the region.
Tumefikia mahali sisi kama vijana hatuwezi enda haso. Kwenye tunaenda haso kanjo inatufuruga. Mimi kutokea kwa barabara, mimi nikakaa kando, nikaanza kuona venye kunaenda. Penye nilishangaa ni kwamba risasi wanakimbiza mtu mpaka wanampata kwa nyumba.
Hawajaeleza, wametrespass, wameweka ngazi, wakaruka juu, wakakuja na makasi, wakakata kifuli na wakajifungulia.
Hizi tumetoka zile kanjo za zamani. Tumetoka ile ukora ya kuja na kuvuruga watu. Sasa tuko mwenendo ya kwamba tusemeshane, tuongereshane, kama kuna shida yeyote, tunakuja pamoja tunatatua.
All right, then moving on. Well, it is a disease with a near 100% fatality rate, yet one that can be entirely prevented with a simple injection. Now, every year, nearly 2,000 Kenyans lose their lives to rabies, many of them children bitten by dogs.
This Sunday, as the world marks World Rabies Day, our cameras take you inside Kenya's fight against this neglected killer. A fight waged not just in conference halls, but also in animal rescue shelters, in rural areas, and in the lives of families who never imagined that a single dog bite could change everything. Here now is our reporter, Ben Chumba, with more.
To many, dogs are man's best friend. For some, they become like family. They are loyal, offer protection and unconditional love. And while dogs have been humanity's loyal companions for centuries, they can also be unsuspecting carriers of the fatal rabies disease that kills 99 out of every 100 victims once symptoms appear.
All over the world, only about 3 or 4 people have survived a rabies bite, a bite by a rabid animal without intervention immediately.
Yet, rabies remains a neglected disease.
It's classified as one, but it's not being treated as a neglected disease. And so the resources that need to go into preventing rabies cases in the country haven't really been allocated towards it.
At the Kenya Society for Protection and Care of Animals in Naivasha, the battle is more personal.
Yes, this is a family. The mother was a feral dog living in a farm, and then she gave birth in a place where the puppies were not safe. So the person who saw them reported them to us. Our team went there, brought the mother and the puppies, and the mother, is feral. So the team has to go there and make sure they are not beaten, but find a safe way to bring the mother in, carry it in our ambulance as you've seen it, and bring it here, and then we take care of them.
Every day, rescued animals, some abused, others abandoned, many victims of cruelty are brought here to safety.
A dog might be crossing the road and it's hit by a car. So we are the one who usually respond. People call us and we respond and we go and get that animal and we see how we can help it. There are instances whereby it's like human cruelty or animal cruelty where somebody decides to just either using a machete to cut the animal or injure the animals. We go in and help.
They are treated, vaccinated and rehabilitated in the hope that one day they will find new homes.
The shelter is just a mid-house, like a midway, like a transitional period for them. So as even sometimes a dog can come in and then it goes tomorrow. So it depends. So most of the time they can stay here for 3 weeks, 1 week, 1 year. Sometimes the dogs will have stayed on for long, but it's because we are waiting for somebody to come and adopt that dog. But then at the end of the day, we've had a dog staying for 2 years, and then suddenly on the 3rd year, somebody comes and adopts it. So they always get adopted.
But rabies is not only an animal problem, it is a human tragedy. Experts warn that poor waste management, stray dog populations and lack of awareness in rural communities are fueling the spread.
Garbage dumps attract a lot of dogs which come around to scavenge. And this gives a very fertile ground for dogs to meet, fight, and at the end of the day, spread the disease amongst themselves. And when a dog is infected, as it moves around, it will attack humans. And that now puts a big risk to the human population.
Globally, rabies kills 59,000 people every year. Nearly 2,000 of them are right here in Kenya. Yet prevention is cheap, costing far less than treating a single exposed patient.
veterinarians have retired from the county governments, and in many county governments they have not been able to replace these professionals, and this has created a vacuum whereby many quacks are out there and are masquerading as veterinarians, and this hampers disease control because we are really not sure what they are doing.
In just 2 days, the world will mark World Rabies Day. But here in Kenya, it is an everyday fight, and the stakes could not be higher.
Every dog keeper should also be alert whenever there is any chance that they suspect that there could be rabies cases within the area. They should also go for pre-exposure prophylaxis so that they are also covered and we prevent the disease from spreading within the human population.
To vaccinate your dogs regularly, ensure that they have annual jabs, and ensure that that vaccination covers a good significant area to prevent the spread.
The governments to work together with the Kenya Veterinary Board to make sure that their veterinary departments are well structured and also are taken care of by the right professionals, because without that we'll not be able to achieve what we want to achieve as a country.
And until every bite is prevented, Kenya's children remain at risk. Ben Chumba, Easy Friday.
Thank you, Ben Chumba, for that detailed report. Moving on, 2 teenagers accused of desecrating the Kenyan flag during a football match at Nyayo Stadium have been ordered to remain in custody at the Gigiri Child Protection Unit.
Well, the minors are aged 14 and 17 will stay there until October 2nd when the court is expected to receive a social inquiry report. Our court reporter, Letua Deborah, has details on that.
The two appeared before Senior Resident Magistrate Rose Gitau at the Milimani Law Courts, where prosecutors sought to have them detained at Kamiti Prison's Youth Corrective Training Center. Their lawyer, Ishmael Nyaribo, opposed the request, arguing the facility was unsuitable for minors and urged their release to guardians or safer alternatives.
And I think they went to the extreme because of stepping on our flag. That is not acceptable. Those are children. That is their age to make those kind of mistakes, and they must be corrected properly. That is why the magistrate has directed that a proper report from several institutions relating to children be brought to the court before a plea can be taken.
The prosecution maintained the charges were serious and that custody was the teenagers' best interest. Magistrate Gitau ordered their passport deposited in court and a social inquiry report filed within 4 days.
Those based on the passports, their date of birth is indicated. That this settles the issue of age. And I will direct that they be deposited in court.
The court has ordered 2 Somali minors be detained at the Gigiri Child Protection Unit until October 2nd, pending a social inquiry report and plea taking. And Jotham Askali alias Kazola was arraigned at the Milimani Law Courts on charges of robbery with violence and malicious property damage. He admitted to robbing Shadrach Asena of liquor and a phone worth 19,645 Kenya shillings, but denied assaulting Caroline Wabire, stealing soft drinks worth 31,800 Kenya shillings, and damaging a car window worth 7,000 Kenya shillings. The prosecution sought time to confirm his plea, and Magistrate Geoffrey Onsarigo ordered a mental assessment at Mathare Hospital with mention on October 2nd, 2025. Letua Deborah for Easy Friday.
All right, now Kenya is working on a new aviation sector initiative seeking to regularize and strengthen the country's air market access.
Now, the New Deal policy being developed by the State Department of Aviation and Aerospace is designed to ensure fair and balanced opportunities for foreign airlines while safeguarding the country's strategic interests.
Well, Transport Cabinet Secretary Davis Churchill says the new policy is being developed through a collaborative approach with Kenyan and international aerospace experts.
Kenya's aviation sector is central to the economy, supporting over 26,000 direct jobs, contributing close to 200 billion shillings to the country's GDP every year. Now, in the heart of Nairobi's textile hub, young entrepreneurs are stitching together dreams, one design at a time.
Well, our reporter Aaron Marie visited an embroidery startup run by two brothers from Bungoma County, whose creativity and resilience are inspiring others to embrace technology and carve out livelihoods, even in the face of Kenya's biting youth unemployment. From casual worker to business owner, this is the story of Ambrose Mwambu Wangila. Originally from Bokoli, Bungoma County, Ambrose once worked as a casual laborer in a textile company here in Nairobi, where he was mainly doing the manual job in the company. But he saw beyond the hustle.
Nilikuwa nafanya kama mtu wa kukata uzi kwa manguo. Nikaona hii kitu venye narani, venye nachapa kazi, nikashangae vipi. From then nikaanza kulani mimi mwenyewe, tokana mwenye alifunza. So naangalia mtu mwenye ana operate kule na kuwa interested na hii kitu. Nikaanza kujifunza. Wadau wako wanataka mtu ajue juu ukijua utafuta huyo mtu kazi. So na mimi nilikuwa nakula tu njaro tu akifanya, pia mimi namfuatia tu hivyo mdogo. From then nikaanza kama operator. Kaanza kuoperate machine. Udhesi sikuwa najua sana, lakini nilikuwa na moyo wa kujua sana.
Inside a modest workshop tucked on the 3rd floor of Nairobi Textile at room number 388, the constant hum of an embroidery machine speaks of passion and innovation. Together with his brother Kevin Wekesa, Ambrose operates a unique machine that stitches two items simultaneously, giving their business an edge in efficiency and productivity.
Self-employment na ile ujuzi kuna kwa kichwa, ila kila kitu ndo naweza jiandika nayo tu.
So tuna imani kwamba maybe in the future tunataka kuexpand kampuni kwa kubwa kidogo na tuongeze apparatus zingine kushinda zile zenye tuko nazo kwa sasa hivi.
The process begins on a computer software.
Klanda naweza kutumia picha kwa PDF, picha akisha kutumia PDF picha na kuja nayo kwa computer na copy paste huko. Unaenda kwa Wilcom una copy paste pale ndio unaanza kuichora, una design, kisha design unachukua na flash unaenda unainsert kwa ile machine.
Apart from running the business, Ambrose is giving back to the society by offering training to aspiring youths.
Tumetrain watu watano watatu wameenda, kuna mwenye alinunua machine alikuwa anahitaji operator so tukamtrainia kijana yake mwenyewe ja kutaka experience za kuandika mtu mwingine, so tukamuzia machine na akakuja akaleta kijana yake ajue knowledge ya kujifunza machine ili ya operate.
Kajifunza kwanza machine, nikakuja nikajifunza kudesign. Sasa hii I'm a full time operator, kazi tu bado sijapata.
His efforts have also inspired other entrepreneurs. Take for example, the fashion label Bad Everyday, an idea started by Afrik, later joined by Peter. They now work closely with Ambrose, using his embroidery skills to brand their merchandise for the local market.
Toka chuo sasa naona nimekaa mtaani hakuna form. Vijana wanalia tu gavata, gava ituweke tu mbele. Sasa mimi ndaka hapo ningoje gava. Na nikaona iwezi, siwezi ngoja gava. Acha tu mimi nijitafutie ile kidogo yenye naweza pata. Hata kanda pata doa kuniweka mbele niende nao chuo. Itakuwa tu sawa.
Mimi nitakuja niende ninunue t-shirt yangu. Tunaka hii ni plain. Nikuje nilete hapa kwa embroidery, ipigwe label. Sino ime add value. Ilikuja ikiwa plain, imepigwa label, ime add value. So sitauza the same price yenye nilichukua nayo.
Ambrose believes embroidery is more than just stitching fabrics.
Kama mtu akona apparatus anahitaji, anaweza fanya vitu mingi sana. Anaweza fanya kila jirani yake pia ajue kitu nafanyika hivi. So hiyo pia inaweza dispute watu wengi wajue hiyo kitu yake. Nani tu alianzisha morali yake na ile ujuzi wake.
Here we meet Francis Gitonga at Simba Center 2nd floor at room number 9.
among other printers of the same printing business, racing with time and deadlines for their clients, running on different types of ink printers, depending on the quality need, quantity need, and affordability option of production.
From the computer there are software which are networked with, those computers are networked with the printer. Yeah, so for instance, this one is a single artwork. There's a software to do this so that one paper can mount many pieces. Then we just send the printer, we print. Then when we go, there's a cutting bit. There are machines for cutting so that every canter can be into pieces.
From banners to custom wear, his printers churn out colorful designs that serve both individuals and small businesses. Like Ambrose, Francis also dreams of expansion. Their stories reflect a growing trend, young Kenyans embracing technology in printing and embroidery, not only to survive, but to create.
I'm hoping the next maybe 1 year or so, as we go into the future, maybe to expand. You know, printing is very broad. There are so many things you can do.
From mere ideas to pixels, from pixels to wearable graphics that tells a story and speaks of the Kenyan culture, Francis and Ambrose are proving that arts is not only limited to talent, but also innovation and entrepreneurship. Reporting for KBC Channel 1, I'm Aaron Murray.
My name is Samuel Mutonga.
Yes, my name is Rehab Mutonga, and I'm also a wife and a mother of 6 beautiful children.
We were working in a certain company in Nairobi, and one day a new staff came, and when I looked at her, something registered in me.
My interest was not in anyone, it was just about the new job. The first person I met was Sam, who received me very well.
It was not even girlfriend or wife, mother of my children.
Time yenyu mlikuwa na proposals? Hakukuwa na hizo, imagine, we didn't know.
After that, the honeymoon, we went to Zanzibar. I had asked my wife, Seychelles ama Zanzibar. Akafanya hivi, akasema Zanzibar.
And we realized our business is not doing well.
So the empire we had built came down crumbling.
Our house was auctioned.
I became a mutura vendor. I sold mama mboga in order for the children to have something to eat.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
All right, and a warm welcome back. This is Easy Friday Business. Take it away, Caren.
Now, SACCOs will now be required to meet tough conditions before they issue dividends and interests in a bid to address liquidity problems affecting the sector.
Well, Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya has directed the SACCO Society's regulatory authority to take tough measures for any SACCO that pays dividends or interest before making sufficient surplus and meeting the capital adequacy requirements and provisions for statutory reserves.
Statistics from the SACCO Society's Regulatory Authority, SASRA, indicate that Kenya's top SACCOs paid out a record 47 billion shillings in dividends in the 2024 financial year. These dividends were paid out despite many of these SACCOs taking a hit following the theft of billions of funds invested at the Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives. The report shows that SACCOs are owed in excess of 3.4 billion shillings by various institutions in unremitted deductions, affecting more than 55,000 members. To address the ongoing liquidity problems in the industry, the government has issued a raft of guidelines in payment of interest and dividends.
No SACCO shall be allowed to borrow from external sources to pay dividends, and henceforth any SACCO intending to procure an external loan must obtain written approval.
The new measures require SACCOs to pay dividends and interests once they have made sufficient surplus, met the legal capital adequacy ratio, and provisions for statutory reserves.
SACCOs are for service entities, and the key service offered are promotion of savings and credit, and not unsustainable dividends and interest.
The move is likely to cause an uproar among SACCO members who rely on dividends and interest payouts for reinvestments. Speaking at a special general meeting for Unitas SACCO, Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya has directed the SACCO Society's Regulatory Authority to ensure the requirements are strictly adhered to. Oparanya has also warned SACCOs not to borrow from external sources in order to pay dividends, adding that any SACCO intending to procure an external loan must obtain written approval from the Commissioner of Cooperatives, subject to compliance with the prescribed ratios.
We welcome those reforms. Most of the reforms he mentioned, fortunately as Unitas, we are already past that threshold. We have already put in place mechanisms.
Alan Auko, Easy Friday.
All right, now Kerio Valley in Elgeyo Marakwet, once known for frequent bandit attacks, is now turning a new leaf and embracing farming and business. The government is already investing billions of shillings to turn the restive region into Kenya's breadbasket.
Already, the Malwepa irrigation project in Marakwet East constituency is taking shape. The giant dam is expected to irrigate over 300 acres of land and supply more than 1,000 homesteads with clean water.
From rolling green hills and sparkling freshwater streams meandering through the expansive Elgeyo Marakwet County, the area is indeed a natural marvel. The county is also famous for producing world-class athletes who have brought glory and honor to the Republic of Kenya. However, despite the natural allure of Elgeyo Marakwet, insecurity has always been the county's Achilles heel. But the situation is now improving thanks to deliberate investment efforts by the national and county governments. From new highways, water dams to hotel and tourism sites, the county is turning a new leaf. Water Cabinet Secretary Eric Muga says the return of peace in the valley will now pave way for farming and other economic activities.
Kerio Valley kumekuwa na zile juhudi ambazo kijana wa hapa Waziri Mkuu ameweka kuhakikisha kwamba tuko na amani. Baada ya amani lazima pia tu transition to other economic activity.
Muga adds that the new water project will create jobs for youth in the area and urging residents to embrace farming.
Na niwaombe tena hiyo amani idumu kwa sababu contractor anafaa pia ajiri vijana wa wapi? Wa hapa. Na nimemweleza job creation inafaa ianze wapi? Hapa kwa mradi.
For conflict-weary residents, the ongoing projects are offering the much-needed relief to pick their pieces and move on with life. The Malwepa irrigation project in Marakwet East constituency is expected to irrigate 300 acres of land and benefit about 1,000 households.
Hapa mostly watu ni wafugaji. Na nimeona mashamba yetu hapa along Kerio Valley River. Very fertile. Yanaweza tumika kulisha na kukuza pia vyakula ambavyo vita supplement diet, sio hapa peke yake Elgeyo Marakwet, pia mnawezalisha wale wengine wa Baringo ndugu zenyu.
Local leaders say the irrigation will open doors for agribusinesses as farmers will be able to grow vegetables and other cash crops even in dry seasons.
Unajua hapa hakukuwa na chochote, ilikuwa tu wanyama. Lakini sasa hii project itasaidia sasa wamama wataweza enda kulima, Watalima marakwe, watalima mahindi, watalima ndizi, na barabara ndio hii tunatengeneza, tunaweka lami, so itakuwa rahisi kupeleka mazao kwa soko, na maneno ya sasa ya insecurity itakuwa imeisha.
Now, workers of the 4 leased sugar mills have been paid 1 billion shillings to cover this month's salaries and arrears. Sugar Board Chairperson Nicholas Gumbo says an audit is being carried out to ascertain amounts owed to workers before final installments of arrears are made.
The Kenya Sugar Board disbursed 1 billion shillings in May to cater for workers' arrears and salaries, in a phased arrangement that will see the government clear worker salary and benefits arrears worth 5.6 billion shillings. The board says it has disbursed another 1 billion shillings for September salaries and to clear part of the arrears.
Yes, I know we still owe farmers some money, but I'm also happy to say that since the leasing process started, no month has gone by without farmers being paid to clear their arrears. No month has gone by without staff being paid. Just this week, we paid the staff in all the factories. We paid the farmers in all the factories.
The board's chair, Nicholas Gumbo, says an audit to ascertain the arrears and benefits owed to farmers are ongoing before final installments are made.
We had arrears. Yeah, it was a mountain of arrears. Now it is getting into a molehill, and soon it will be a football field.
The board says 80% of the staff will be retained by the new owners as the investors plan to scale up operations.
Visions of the lease, within the terms of the lease, we were expected to attain full production capacity of all these 4 mills within a certain timeline.
Sugar millers have been encouraged to invest more on sugarcane development to ensure there is enough cane to process and increase farmers' earnings.
Having sugarcane growing in the farms alone is not enough. We must put in place good crop husbandry to make sure that not only are we having cane, but we are having cane that can give us sufficient sucrose. We are having cane that can mature in good time. We are having cane that we are able to extract a minimum area can give us optimal levels of cane.
Benson Droba reporting for Easy Friday.
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation. We will be focusing on women. We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you running?
We're turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision. You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood on KBC TV for Dada's show.
All right, welcome back to Easy Friday Business. Kenya and the International Monetary Fund, that's the IMF, are in talks to unlock a new financing initiative to support the balance of payment and improve macroeconomic stability.
A statement from the IMF says the team is led by the IMF Mission Chief for Kenya, Haimanot Tefera, and will be in the country for 2 weeks, engaging with the National Treasury, the private sector, and the county governments.
Kenya is hoping the latest round of talks with the Washington lender will help unlock access to the stalled extended fund facility, which delayed access to about 130 billion shillings in financing by the IMF. The extended fund arrangements approved in 2021 and later expanded to 460 billion shillings to include a resilience and sustainability facility had so far disbursed more than 360 billion shillings before the program was abandoned in March this year. A statement from the fund says the negotiations will focus on measures to raise revenue, reduce fiscal deficits, and manage the country's heavy debt servicing obligations. The IMF mission chief for Kenya, Hymanot Tefera, has said that the fund is committed to supporting Kenya in maintaining macroeconomic stability, safeguarding debt sustainability, strengthening governance, and promoting inclusive and sustainable growth. The IMF has also been conducting a governance diagnostic in Kenya, with a draft assessment expected in December 2025. This will form part of a broader structural reform tied to fund engagement. Alan Auko, Easy Friday.
Now, coastal counties have been urged to scale up investments in the blue economy to unlock jobs, attract investments, and drive sustainable growth. The European Union and Germany have reaffirmed their continued support for the Kenyan government in the fast-growing sector.
Well, the EU has launched the 8.8 billion shillings Sustainable Western Indian Ocean program across 9 African countries. That's Kenya, Comoros, Djibouti, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, Somalia, and Tanzania to support ocean management, promote a sustainable blue economy, and protect marine ecosystems and coastlines.
Now, speaking during the Blue Innovation and Investment Summit in Mombasa, organized by Sote Hub, EU Ambassador to Kenya, Henriette, lauded the process made through the EU-funded Go Blue project, noting that businesses started under their initiative are thriving with solid profit margins.
Well, the envoy also called for stronger public awareness and community advocacy around the blue economy, urging Kenya to integrate inland waters into its strategies and align national efforts with international environmental sustainability goals.
Kenya can export rather, to the European Union fresh fish, duty-free, quota-free. And the EU is maybe the biggest demander for fresh fish in the world. So here you have an endless potential of a market that is increasing. And the European Union was committing 152 billion Kenyan shillings to life undersea.
Can we kindly
All right, now President William Ruto has sealed a historic clean energy, electric mobility, green infrastructure, and climate-smart agriculture agreement with the state of California, opening a new chapter in global climate and economic cooperation.
Under the agreement, a center of excellence on clean transport systems in Africa will be constructed in Kenya and will spearhead innovation, technology transfer, and knowledge exchange across the continent. And those were all the business stories we had for you tonight. Don't go too far. Right after this short break, our colleague Bernard Okumu will be back with all the sports news you need to know tonight. Don't go too far.
When you think of gold, platinum, silver, and copper, your mind likely goes straight to luxury jewelry or high-end electronics. Moringa, peppermint, and platinum designed to detox from within. Each sip was herbal, minty, and surprisingly smooth.
This, when it goes into the body, it actually pushes out all the toxins.
Well, and if you just want to own a little piece of luxury, that is copper, whether gold or silver, do join us this Sunday as we speak precious metals and your health.
And let's get sporty this Easy Friday. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Kenya's national baseball 5 youth team advanced to the quarterfinals of the ongoing World Cup in Mexico after recording their 3rd win last night. Now they beat their African counterparts Tunisia by 2 straight sets before they overcame Spain by 2 sets to 1 to set up quarterfinal place against hosts Mexico. Daniel Mwendwa, who is Mexico, reports.
Sound like lopsided scores, however...
In what many are calling a historic performance, Kenya's youth baseball 5 team has sent shockwaves through the ongoing WBSC World Baseball 5 World Cup. The young side secured a dramatic win over tournament favourite Spain. Although Spain took the lead by winning the first set with 4 runs, Kenya showed resilience, bouncing back in the second set with a dominant 7-1 scoreline.
Kenya already off to a good start here in...
With momentum on their side, the Kenyan squad sealed the deal in the 3rd set, outplaying the Spanish and booking a spot in the playoff round.
It has been good. At least we've come and we've exposed ourselves. We've come to know different people, interacted with many people. I can say just a nice...
In the playoffs, Kenya faced off against Tunisia and once again proved the mental. The first set saw the Kenyans take control early, finishing 8-5. They followed it up with an even more convincing second set, beating Tunisia 8-2 to wrap up the match in straight sets.
Our expectation is to win all the upcoming matches so that we can bring the cup home.
The game has been good. At least we've tried our best, and the battle is not over yet. We are going to try our best and make our country proud.
The Kenya National Baseball 5 team will be going for nothing short for a win in the quarterfinals as they aim to reach the finals and secure this year's title. Reporting for KBC Channel 1 Sports from Nayarit in Mexico, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
And thank you, Daniel Mwendwa, for that report. To football, where Eli Asiech's lone goal in the first half handed Mathare United their first win of the season as they beat KCB in a Football Kenya Federation Premier League match played today at Kasarani Annex. Frederick Mwoki has the details.
Mathare United, who lost to Posta Rangers 2-1 in their opening match of the new season on Monday, were determined to make up their disappointment today, and their prayers were answered when Eli Asiech netted the sole goal in the 43rd minute to give the Slum Boys their first win of the season.
Kwanza tumepeana bao, ya pili hatukupata nafasi zetu, tulipata hatukuweza kutumia.
Kwanza ni kwamba last game ambao KCB walicheza na Tusker, I think first half walikuwa ni threat, but again nikiangalia hiyo game second half hawakuwa threat vile, but kuja kwa hii game nilikuwa najua first half lazima watatuweke hiyo pressure, ndio walikuwa wanataka kutulazimisha kufanya makosa.
Meanwhile, record Premier League champions Gor Mahia will be seeking to register their first win of the season as they face Sofapaka tomorrow at Dandora Stadium. Kogalo lost by a solitary goal to Bidco United in their league match opener last weekend.
Continue with the preparation from last week, and we want to improve from what we did the last time. And so we've worked a little bit on our final third. Goal scoring opportunities and so on, and it has gone very well.
It is a marathon, and what I can assure them that we are on course and we will make sure that we do our best.
Posta Rangers will lock horns with Tusker FC, while Marashuga will play host to Kakamega Homeboys at Crane Stadium Awendo. Kakamega Homeboys assistant coach Paul Okatwa says the team is motivated and ready to showcase a splendid performance this season and is confident of a positive result against the side they lost to in the previous season.
I believe tumekuwa na a good preparation, and as we start our match kesho against Mara away, tuko na confidence that tunaenda kuchukua results.
Niko sure haitakuwa rahisi, but sisi tumechipanga, tuko ready. Hiyo ilipita.
Elsewhere, the National Super League will kick off tomorrow with 2 matches on card. Kibera Black Stars will host Talanta FC at Vaporfield, while MCF will host Modern Coast Rangers at MCF Sports Complex. Finally, the FIFA Member Association Elite Referees course has officially concluded after 4 days of intensive training and evaluation. Held under the guidance of FIFA and in collaboration with the FKF, the high-level course brought together elite referees and assistant referees from across the country.
This is a sign that there is good work coming from the lower level. You know, I'm talking.
The organization has been fantastic. We have had top-class instructors. The way it has been conducted has been excellent.
Frederick Mwoki for Easy Friday.
And to the war against doping now, where the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKA Law Court, has handed an Indian national, Aman Malik, a 3-year jail term and a fine of 1 million shillings for unlawful importation and transportation of prohibited substances into the country. Malik, who identified himself as an athlete, was arrested in 10 and found in possession of a somatropin, mildronate 500 and diclofenac sodium injections, which are prohibited substances contrary to Section 42. 2A of the Anti-Doping Act. Senior Principal Magistrate Njeri Thuku fined Malik 1 million shillings for importing the substances or a 12-month jail term in case of default. He was further handed 3 concurrent jail terms of 3 years each for transporting the 3 prohibited substances. The court ordered that Malik be repatriated to his country of origin after he completes his jail sentence.
In terms of circumstances of the offence, Aman states that it was his coach Avdesh Nagar who brought him the prohibited substances. Avdesh took them to Aman in April this year. Aman is sentenced to pay a fine of 1 million shillings. In default, he will serve 12 months in prison. In count 2, Aman, you are sentenced to 3 years in prison. In count 3, you are sentenced to 3 years in prison. In count 4, you are sentenced to 3 years in prison. Please sit down. The sentences in counts 1, 2, 3, and 4 are to run concurrently. Aman has 14 days right of appeal.
As the national women's under-20 football team, Rising Starlets, are set for a decisive clash against Ethiopia this Sunday in a FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier return leg at the Ulinzi Sports Complex here in Nairobi. After a hard-fought 1-1 draw in Addis Ababa last weekend, the Kenyan Queens must go all out for maximum points to seal a ticket to the third round, where they will battle the winner between Tanzania and Angola. Now, Tanzania already have one foot in the next round after thrashing Angola 4-0 in Dar es Salaam. In the first leg, the Starlets camp has received a huge boost with the return of Vihiga Queens' safe hands, Marcia Koth, who missed the first leg while on duty with the Safaricom Chapadimba All-Stars in Spain. Coach Jacqueline Juma's charges are hungry for an appearance on the global stage, wanting to emulate the junior Starlets who made their maiden appearance at last year's World Cup in the Dominican Republic. Now, the mood in camp looks upbeat after the Starlets warmed up with a 2-0 friendly win over Ulinzi Starlets at the same venue on Wednesday. And Nairobi United will be going for nothing short of victory in tomorrow's afternoon's CAF Confederations Cup first preliminary round second leg match against Uganda's NECFC at the Nyayo National Stadium. The Mozartbet Cup winners drew 2-2 with the Ugandans last weekend and will take advantage of the home ground and home fans to send the visitors packing in their quest to progress to the next round starting from the 17th to 19th of October before the return legs a week later. Police FC will also be in action in the CAF Champions League preliminary first round return leg against Mogadishu FC this Sunday at Nyayo National Stadium after a 3-1 win last weekend. Elsewhere, Meru County has been confirmed as the host of the 6th edition of County Assembly Sports Association CASA Games, slated for the 25th of October to the 1st of November this year. Now speaking while receiving the instruments of power to host the games, Meru County Assembly Speaker Ayub Bundi said the games will attract close to 8,000 participants and will be aimed at enhancing integration and peaceful coexistence in all the assemblies, promoting unity across the country. This year's theme is strengthening legislative bonds through sports and culture.
Our Speaker, Ayub, my colleague in CAF, will be hosting us for the next 1 year. Honorable Speaker, the incoming patron, an outgoing patron, you've been good to us as CASA. Bungoma gave us easy time, and I am sure the spirit the Speaker of Meru has for devolution, more importantly, to make sure the Assembly stand out strong, it is really encouraging. I believe we'll be a shorter time and the games will be on.
Meru is preparing to take the baton and beyond of the foundation. This year's theme, strengthening district bonds through sports and culture, perfectly demonstrate the spirit of collaboration and mutual respect we aim to foster across our county assemblies, fostering integration and peaceful coexistence in our assemblies.
And across the borders now, where Barcelona came from behind to beat Real Oviedo 3-1 in the Spanish La Liga last night, while Aston Villa and Lyon registered wins in their first campaign of the UEFA Europa League. Sean Muya has the story.
Oviedo found the back of the net in the 33rd minute after Barcelona's goalkeeper Joan Garcia was caught in no man's land. Barcelona equalized through Eric Garcia before substitute Robert Lewandowski put them ahead in the 70th minute, and Ronald Araujo's header sealed the victory. Meanwhile, Aston Villa claimed their first victory of the season against Bologna, with John McGinn scoring the only goal of the match, while Tana Tessman scored late in the second half to hand Lyon a win over FC Utrecht.
And definitely that wrap-up from La Liga brings us to the end for Easy Friday Sports. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you a sporty weekend ahead. Back to Caren and John.
Thank you very much, Okumu, for keeping us up to speed with the stories making headlines in the world of sports. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Easy Friday tonight. My name is Karen Kibbett.
All right, and my name is John Kago. Many thanks indeed for choosing us tonight. Our sign language interpreter was?
It's Carol Njoroge.
Carol Njoroge. Thank you so much, Carol, for that. On the other side of the studio, and in not too long, that's in a couple of minutes, DJ Cole Jacks takes it away. A disco funk is coming up in not too long. Thank you for choosing us tonight.
Good night.
So long.
I'll see you next Friday.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive, not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Dosi amelala, sukuma moja. Wewe pia ndio muoga. Ndio maana Master Demi ilikupita. Demi haiko nipita bwana. Mimi najaza entry ticket zangu. Wewe hata unajua namba ya kusenda.
Sini star 419 has.
Opson. Ni Probox. Bwana finya hiyo kitu.
Mfinye.
Finya hiyo kitu.
Mfinye.
Finya hiyo kitu.
Mfinye.
Finya bwana.
Iko Probox kwa star 419 hash option 3. Fresh design ndani ya light commercial vehicle. Cargo space ni kubwa, na kama haitoshi, iko foldable backseat for more space. Kamera ni mbili mbele na kamera ni mbili nyuma. Injini yako ni 1500cc. Nguvu na picking guaranteed. Hii itakuserve whether ni familia, biashara, camping, ita come through.
Fungua kit. Fungua kit. Fungua